Hello, it's the Midlands against the North of England today on Round Britain Quiz. The Midlands are playing with a sort of home advantage here in our Warwickshire hideaway, but the North made an impressive start to the series with a victory over Wales in Programme 1. They're going to be on their mettle today, I'm sure. So welcome back Elizabeth Jane Burnett and Stephen Maddock of the Midlands, and to Stuart McConey and Adele Garras of the North. Before we start, let me give you the answer to the little puzzle I left you with at the end of last week's programme. I asked then what an English female traveller and mystic might share with a comic actor in Shakespeare's company, a 20th century conductor and a fictional ghost. The answer here was the name Kemp, with or without an E on the end. Margery Kemp is the English mystic whose Book of Margery Kemp is something of a 14th century classic. The Shakespearean actor is Will Kemp, who starred in many comic roles with the Chamberlain's Men, and the conductor is Rudolph Kemp, who conducted at the Royal Philharmonic in the mid-20th century. And finally, the fictional ghost is Thomas Kemp in the children's novel The Ghost of Thomas Kemp by Penelope Lively. Our panel are getting their questions handed to them on paper right now. You can see them written down too by going to the Round Britain Quiz website and clicking on today's date. Midlands, you are first in the firing line this week. See what you can do with this one. And this question comes from Dave Taylor in Sunderland. Incidentally, you can email your own question ideas to rbq@bbc.co.uk. So, Midlands, either half of William Joyce, a central sporting objective, and any one of 18 in another sport should all suggest which posthumous winner of a prestigious award. Either half of William Joyce, a central sporting objective, and any one of 18 in another sport should all suggest which posthumous winner of a prestigious award.
Yeah. William Joyce, we think, is the real name of Lord Hawhall.
That's right,
Famous,
yes. Who was
Nazi propagandist over the radio during World War II. So half of William Joyce would be Haw, H-A-W.
Absolutely.
We're still looking at our sporting objectives, which we wonder if that could be a bullseye, perhaps.
It could, yes.
Okay. And sports that have 18 of something could be golf, which has 18 holes.
Yes, I'm not sure there are any other sports.
No,
I'm sure somebody will write and tell us if there are, but I can't.
18 people on a team in something. So we've got Haw, bullseye and hole.
Not hole.
T.
No.
Green.
Green.
Haw, bullseye, green.
Not bullseye.
Oh, okay. Oh, the gold. Is it the gold?
No, you're right, but you need to be half as right as you are at the
The
moment.
bull.
Or the bull.
Bull.
The bull. Haw, bull, green.
There is a connection between those three, which would lead on to the posthumous winner of a prestigious award.
Is this a award for literature of some kind?
No. It is a cultural award. But
Cultural
not...
award. An Oscar.
Yeah.
Posthumous Oscar winner. What's his name on an Oscar? The guy who was the Joker. Heath Ledger.
He did, I think, but it's not. It's
Okay.
not him we're after. 1977.
Oh, okay.
Best Actor Oscar.
Oh, Peter Fonda. No.
No.
Henry Fonda.
No.
This is what I meant. On Golden Pond, he
No.
died, but that's a bit later, I think.
If I tell you that Haw, bull, and green are a kind of prefix here.
Haw, green something, green bull.
Neither of you are twitchers, then. You're twitching.
Oh,
a
they're
bit at the moment.
Finches, are they? No. Are they Finches?
Finch,
Peter Finch.
yes.
So he won for Network.
That's right.
Yeah. Best actor for Network
He
in
won for
1977.
Network, and they are a Hawfinch, a Bullfinch, and a Greenfinch. Yeah, it sort of tumbled out at the end there once I'd said Twitcher. So I think we'll push it up to 3 for you, but I can't go higher than that, I'm afraid, Midlands. So North of England, what's the titular connection between the first 3 in the black chair, who were technically the wrong gender, Beryl's Crimean hero, who was not all he should have been, and Halvard Solness, who was all man, in fact, perhaps too much so. What's the titular connection between the first three in the black chair, who were technically the wrong gender, Beryl's Crimean hero, who was not all he should have been, and Halvard Solness, who was all man, in fact, perhaps too much so?
Well, I think the black chair is mastermind.
It is. Why? What makes you think that?
Because the first three winners of Mastermind were quite likely to be women and should have been Mistress Mind.
They were all women, yes.
Yeah, so that's the wrong gender.
Beryl, Adele knew straight away, we think is Bainbridge. And the Crimean hero is Master Georgie from the novel of the same name, who...
Well, to my great shame, I haven't read this novel, although I have read many reviews of it.
Well, that's as
and I can't remember whether Georgie perhaps turns out to have been a girl, does she?
Not in fact, no. But he turns out to have been not quite the admirable figure he first
That's
appears.
right. He's not, he's not as admirable yet. Yeah. And Halvard Solness, who was all man, in fact, perhaps too much so, a real person?
No.
That scotches the idea of it being a disqualified athlete that we were going down. So a figure in a work of art, a piece of art, a novel.
Yeah, yes.
Is he?
Not a novel.
Not a novel. A cartoon.
A play.
Oh, The Master Builder.
By Ibsen.
You have got
Ibsen.
That.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
The Master Builder.
Yeah.
So, what's the titular connection?
They each have master.
Exactly.
They start with their title.
They all have masters. The first three in the black chair, that was a clue to Mastermind. The first three winners were in fact women. Beryl's Crimean hero is Master Georgie, and finally Halvard Solness is the name of the Master Builder in the Ibsen play. We'll give you 5 for that, North of England. So Midlands, if this was a music question, it isn't. Which work by Vivaldi would we be listening to?
I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference.
Well, when I realised the job which was being advertised actually involved a new approach on the South Bank, that rather than running the concert halls as what I call garages, places where orchestras park, do their thing and then move off, when I realised what was wanted was an active artistic policy, of the kind I'd learnt to see working at the Pompidou Centre, I was very excited.
The authorities in Hawaii are changing the format of the island's ID cards because of complaints by a woman whose 35-letter surname wouldn't fit. Janice Keihani Kukukahihuli Kahaun Ele, whose traditional Hawaiian name comes from her late husband, said she would never consider using a shortened version because she loved the Polynesian culture. Ms. Keihani Kukukahihuli Kahaun Ele also rejected suggestions that she could use her maiden name, Worth.
Prodigious work there from a very familiar Radio 4 voice, but is it familiar to you? If this was a music question, which work by Vivaldi would we be listening to?
So the second voice, if we start in the middle, is Nicholas Snowman, who was the managing director of the South Bank Centre in London, Royal Festival Hall, and the other concert halls, as well as various other jobs in a long career.
Yeah. I thought you would recognise that voice, but what about the other two?
So I think we began with some poetry there, and the road less travelled, thinking about Robert Frost.
We are thinking of Robert Frost indeed, yeah.
So we've got Frost and we've got a snowman, which suggests that we might be listening to Vivaldi's Four Seasons, though we seem to be just in winter.
Yeah.
So the third voice is a Radio 4 announcer who would also suggest winter. Okay. There's not a Christmas, is there? There's a...
You're going to kick yourself
I know
when eventually I have to tell you, as
we are.
eventually I will.
There's not a December or a January.
No, we're thinking about meteorology.
Again, so...
or wintry
ice,
conditions.
Snow, sleet. Nicholas Sleet.
No, not Nicholas.
Neil Sleet.
Neil Sleet.
Neil
You
Sleet.
did get there in the end. I didn't have to tell you. I had to push you, but not actually tell you. Yeah, so we heard Robert Frost, a passage from The Road Not Taken, the voice of Nicholas Snowman, the arts administrator, and the voice of Neil Sleet, the Radio 4 announcer. Which work by Vivaldi would be listening to? Well, the seasons and specifically winter. We punish you for not knowing Neil Sleet straight off by taking a point away, so that's 5 points to you. So, north of England, this question was sent in by a listener, Chris Neale. Who might have made carvings of the man who covered Tulane, Gillian and her blasphemous teddy bear, and a philatelist? Who might have made carvings of the man who covered Tulane, Gillian and her blasphemous teddy bear, and a philatelist?
Shall we do the component parts first?
Yes.
And then,
Yes.
well, the man who covered Tulane, I think, is Steve Gibbons, Birmingham, and the Steve Gibbons Band, long-standing doyen of the Midlands rock scene, who covered the old rock classic Tulane, originally by Chuck Berry?
Yes,
Yeah.
by Chuck Berry, yep.
And the philatelist we think is Stanley Gibbons.
He is.
Who you used to send off to for packs of stamps in the back
That's
of the
right,
paper. Yeah.
that's right. So this all leads up to the chap who made the carvings, which is Grinling Gibbons.
Yep.
But
There.
the teddy bear is causing us some problems.
Is the blasphemous teddy bear from that recent movie? There's
No.
been a recent movie about a foul-mouthed teddy bear, so it's not that.
Called Ted, I
Called
think.
Ted,
Yeah. No, it's not
okay.
that. No.
Blasphemous teddy bear. We're not just looking for someone called Gillian Gibbons, are we?
Well, you are, in fact, but can you
Say why.
Is she
fill
an
out a little...
artist?
No, she's
A
not an
conceptual
artist.
artist,
No.
no.
But we would know this blasphemy.
Oh, I know who it is. Yes, it's the woman in Saudi Arabia or somewhere who was sent back.
Not Saudi Arabia.
Somewhere in the Middle East, there was a woman who had a teddy bear that the religious authorities objected to, and she lost her job.
Can you remember why they objected to it?
Did it have a crucifix?
No.
No.
I can't remember. It
Was
was,
it the
something. I
teddy
think it
bear's
was
name?
something he.
It was the teddy bear's name.
She called him Mohammed.
That's right.
She called the teddy bear Mohammed.
That's right.
A member of staff complained it was
That's
blasphemy,
right.
and she was briefly imprisoned.
Yes, I remember it.
Wow.
So, who might have made carvings of the man who covered Tulane? Steve Gibbons, Gillian Gibbons, of that news story from 2007, and the philatelist Stanley Gibbons. Well, obviously, Grinling Gibbons. You struggled a tiny little bit with Gillian, but so I think I have to dock a point for that. But well done, 5 points to you. So, Midlands. If you added a postcode of particular interest to Russian visitors to a digital pledge, a colourful Bollywood film, and a step on a ladder, why might they make you jump? If you added a postcode of particular interest to Russian visitors to a digital pledge, a colourful Bollywood film, and a step on a ladder, why might they make you jump?
Well, as we discovered recently, the most popular chapter in all Russian guidebooks to visiting the UK is the chapter on Salisbury, with the famous cathedral with its 123 metre high spire, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So if you were visiting Salisbury, you would be going to the postcode SP.
You would.
Then we're thinking about this digital pledge and wondering if it's digital as in online or digital as in fingers. So we're thinking through those different things. And if it was fingers, perhaps a digital pledge might be a ring.
Very good indeed, yes, it is.
And applying that SP would give us a spring, which would be some sort of jumping movement.
And a step on a ladder is definitely a rung. So if we're adding spring and then something... So we could be spring sprung or something, which might make you jump.
Yes. You have only one component to complete.
So the colourful Bollywood film, therefore, has to also be SP. And if we've got something wrong...
No,
sprang. No. Sprang.
It is.
Spring, sprang, sprung.
It is spring, sprang, sprung.
Yeah.
Yes. So
what we're missing is sprang.
No, what you're missing is the fact that you're not missing anything at all.
Okay.
You're sort of struggling. You've got rung at the end, but you keep
Yeah.
saying that you're missing something. What are you missing?
Sprang. So that's the Bollywood film.
I'm going to call a halt to this because it's getting painful. You add SP to ring and you get spring. You add SP to...
Oh, you add the SP each time, so the...
Exactly. If you added a postcode of particular interest to Russian visitors to a digital pledge, a ring, you would get spring. A colourful Bollywood film
Is rang.
Rang. Sprang, and a step on a ladder, as you correctly identified it, is rung. So you would get spring, sprang, and sprung, all forms of bouncing, jumping motion. I'll go to 4 for that, Midlands. So north of England, time for a music clip for you. What does this piece have to do with Pocahontas, Huddersfield Town, and Doctor Who?
So I go to the water, it is time that I need. Oh, my heart wears a fancy dress, burst at the seams. All that hurt mattered and all that I've seen, diving into the great lakes of love.
You mouthed the words, I know this, Stuart, but your face suggests
No, I thought I did. I thought I
Face
did.
suggests you don't.
Okay.
So what does that piece have to do with Pocahontas, Huddersfield Town, and Doctor Who?
In that piece of music, are we looking for the singer or the song?
The singer.
Yeah, because I think the song's called The Great Lakes of Love, but the singer and the singer's name... Oh, okay, let's try this. Doctor Who. Are we talking about the current Doctor Who?
We're talking about the character Doctor Who.
Who is a Time Lord?
He doesn't always call himself Doctor Who.
The Doctor.
Doesn't always call himself the Doctor.
Me?
He sometimes employs an alias.
Can I go to Pocahontas, about
Yes,
which I
do.
know a little?
Of course you can, yes.
Does Gravesend come into it?
No, you obviously know she's buried
I know
there.
she's
but,
buried in Gravesend.
But that's not what we're looking for. Can
Oh,
you
our
remember the story? Can
ignorance
you
is
remember the
bottomless.
story of Pocahontas?
But she married a guy called John Smith?
She wasn't, in fact, married to him, but John Smith is...
John Smith is the person who brings her...
She is the person she saves in the legend.
Right.
She is the settler.
Does John Smith, an alias that the Doctor Who sometimes go by?
It is. Doctor Who, in various manifestations, has given himself the name John Smith. I suppose now it would be Joan Smith if the current avatar has to adopt an identity. But
So there must be a Huddersfield Town player called John Smith.
No, the John Smith Stadium is where Huddersfield Town play their games.
Well done.
And I did not know that singer, but I'm assuming he's called John Smith.
he is called John Smith, British folk singer and guitarist called
Right.
John Smith. So they're always the most difficult to give points to, these questions, where you give one little push and then all of the rest of it tumbles
that's
out.
Right.
But it was a really big push that I had to give you, so I don't think it can be more than 3 for that north of England.
Generous.
No, don't say that, Adele.
I heard that. Adele said it was, I heard it. Adele said it was quite
As I knew
generous,
nothing.
and she's right, yeah. Midlands. An American billionaire, a winner of Celebrity Big Brother, a fictional amateur female detective, and a creature beloved of cryptozoologists all club together to buy a boat. Where do they moor it? An American billionaire, a winner of Celebrity Big Brother, a fictional amateur female detective, and a creature beloved of cryptozoologists all club together to buy a boat. Where do they moor it?
Well, thinking about the fictional amateur female detective, I think the one that I know most is Miss Marple.
She is fictional and she is a detective, but it's
But
not
not
the
the
one
one
we're
in
looking for, I'm
question.
afraid.
So I'm also wondering if it could be anything to do with the number 1 ladies detective agency.
No, it isn't.
Okay. American billionaire, Bill Gates. I'm going to give you I'm in danger of giving you a list here, aren't I?
You are in danger. I will help you a little by
Warren
saying
Buffett.
he's not still alive.
One of the Gettys. So J. Paul Getty.
J. Paul Getty.
Okay. Well, a Getty would moor their boat on a jetty. Is that going to help?
You've got the right mooring
Okay.
place.
So the fictional amateur female detective is Betty.
No.
Curses. My mother will be so disappointed. Okay.
Played by Patricia Routledge. I don't know whether you...
Oh, Hetty Wainthropp.
Hetty, yes, Hetty.
Hetty Wainthropp.
Okay, so we have Getty and Hetty and Jetty. So, a creature beloved of cryptozoologists.
The listeners are screaming at the radios at home. I know this.
Hang on.
Just run through what you've got so far.
Well, we've got Getty, Hetty and Jetty.
So it is quite likely, is it not,
That it is a
that
creature
your remaining
with,
answers...
which rhymes with...
A creature that ends etty. A Yeti.
I couldn't give you that.
It's spelled different, isn't it?
So what about... All you're missing now is the winner of Celebrity Big Brother.
Which neither of us
Which we
watches.
don't watch.
No. It did break out of immediate watchers, this, because it became the subject of a newspaper story. It sort of broke out into the general culture, this particular series of Celebrity Big Brother.
Oh, with Jade Goody.
Yes.
And there was an actress. It was said that Jade Goody had bullied her.
Yes,
sort of racist bullying.
there was a sort of controversy about
Yeah. She was called
Shilpa
Shetty.
Shilpa Shetty, exactly. Well, as with the north of England, I had to give you a big push to get you started there, and then you did sort of begin to roll a little bit, but I think I can only give you 3 points for that, and that probably is generous too. So, north of England, this is your final question. You're only 2 points behind, so you've really got to stumble to lose now, just to put a little bit of pressure on you. On paper, at least, Edinburgh is 841, Dover is 594, Portsmouth is 420, Avonmouth is 297, Holyhead is 210, Ware is 148. On paper, at least, Edinburgh is 841, Dover is 594, Portsmouth is 420, Avonmouth is 297, Holyhead is 210, Ware is 148.
On paper, at least. And we're guessing that if we establish what kind of paper, that will be a big help.
All the words in an RB clue
Yes.
usually mean something,
Yes.
and you've spotted that. Yeah.
Are we talking any kind of map?
Well, I'm not going to say no, but
Right.
But it's not. It's
not the OS maps. It's not the
not
number.
a map.
No.
It has to be. The answer has to be something we can work out from the
Exactly.
other numbers.
Well,
Without
these,
knowing
It's not just about simple knowledge, is it? That's not the way this works. We must be able to deduce it or work it out.
I don't know if you. These numbers might mean something to you if you, in certain circumstances, you might recognise them, and you might recognise their connection. With
They're
these.
all ports or coastal or ferries. Is that connected?
No.
So heights. Are we talking about heights?
Not
Above sea
heights.
level?
No.
Widths, area, surface area.
You're getting closer with ideas of measurement. That's why I halted at height and width.
What else is there? Depth,
Think
girth,
about filling your printer.
paper measurements.
Paper measurements.
Paper
yeah.
measurements. Do you mean things like A4 and A5, that sort of measurement?
Exactly
A6,
so.
C4,
Really?
all of that.
Yes.
I still don't see what the numbers have to do with either
So
place.
148's not Basildon then, is it?
On paper. Okay, so these are dimensions of paper.
They are dimensions of paper, but why?
Why are
They
they
have-
called Edinburgh? And
Why do they have those connections with Edinburgh, Dover, Portsmouth?
you can't say I have no idea around Britain quiz, can you? No.
Right. Well, let me give you a large.
Give us a clue.
I will give you a large hint that A3 is a size of paper, but it is a code for something.
Oh,
else.
it's roads. It's roads. It's roads, of course. These roads link London or major cities and these places. So the A148 goes to, well, it is about simple knowledge. I don't know where the
No
A148
idea
goes.
where it goes.
It's not. No, the numbers relate to the paper.
Oh,
Right, okay. So the biggest is Edinburgh, presumably. So that'll be...
Yes.
What goes to Edinburgh? See, I don't drive.
You do need to drive. I think,
well,
to be,
there you go.
to be
Neither of us
really
drive,
at
so
home
we're at a
with-
disadvantage, aren't we?
We are at a great disadvantage.
Oh, in that case then, well, so we're looking. So is that the biggest or the smallest?
The smallest would be A6.
Yes.
Right.
Right. So the A6... I've no idea where the A6
Does it go
goes.
to Bristol?
No. No.
We
You're
just
at the
don't
other
know.
end of the country.
The other end of the country.
Oh, Newcastle?
No. Other side of the country.
Liverpool. We're just
Carlisle.
stabbing it.
It's the
Carlisle.
great. Oh yes, of course. The A6 goes up to Carlisle.
So the A6
Oh.
finishes in Carlisle. That's your missing.
Yeah.
Right.
So 148 is Carlisle.
148 is Carlisle.
Yeah.
Now, you've got A6.
We've got A6, A4. Must be there, presumably.
Yeah.
In
Presumably.
which case it'll be... I think
Yeah.
A4 is probably Avonmouth.
It is Avon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so a bit smaller than A4 is A5
Yeah.
to Holyhead.
So A5 to Holyhead. So you got the A6 goes to Carlisle. What have you just said? That the
A5 goes to Holyhead. You've
A5
said
A5
that.
goes to Holyhead.
You've said that the A4 goes
to
to
Avonmouth. So the
Avonmouth.
A3 goes to Portsmouth. The A2 goes to Dover, and the A1, the Great North Road, goes to Edinburgh.
Exactly.
Blimey.
148 was in Carlisle because an A6 size of paper is 148 millimetres long, and all of those other numbers are the millimetre length of the A6 piece of paper, the A5 piece of paper, the A4, the A3, the A2, and the A1.
What a question!
I know, and didn't we have to go round the country
We
to get to
did.
the answer? We were driving the wrong way down dual carriageways for so long there. I'm afraid I think I can only give you one for that. You got so much help.
We did.
So that means that right at the last minute, I said you had to do badly to lose, and I'm afraid
And we did.
you went and did exactly that. The result is a victory for the Midlands with 15 to your 14 points. Congratulations and commiserations as appropriate. The return fixture between these two teams will be the penultimate match of the series in March. Let me leave you with a teaser question, as always, to be thinking about until we next meet. No prizes, but I'll give you the answer at the beginning of the next edition, and it'll be on the website as well. One was celebrated for finding a trophy, another went into orbit, and a third met his fate on the way back from Porlock. Who were they, and which one survived? I'll have the solution for you next week. Until then, goodbye.